Hi everybody, so today I'm going to evaluate Molly's Winter Kitchen. It's a PBS Kids game and it's based on the children's TV series Molly of Denali. So I chose this particular game because I've seen a couple episodes of Molly of Denali with my son, and I remember enjoying that show. I learned some interesting things about Alaskan Native culture, their customs, traditions, and their way of living. So this game in particular, Molly's Winter Kitchen, teaches you how to preserve food for the winter. Even though it's called a game, based on our lecture this week, the definitions of game versus simulation, I think Molly's Winter Kitchen would fall under simulation. Because this in particular does not involve any points or winning. It just teaches you how to preserve 5 different foods for the winter. All right, so now we're going to watch the introduction, and the introduction actually gives you the learning objectives, or clearly states the purpose of this simulation. So let's watch.
Molly's Winter Kitchen. Hey everyone, my mom and I are getting food ready for winter, and we'd like you to help us.
This summer, we collected our traditional foods, taking only what we needed. To get ready for the winter, we'll preserve the foods, which means that we prepare them so they stay yummy and nutritious for a long time.
Tap the food you want to preserve with us.
So as you can see, the purpose or the learning objectives are stated clearly in the beginning, in the introduction. And I like that it's done in a conversational way. That way it's easy for the kids to understand. And then now we're presented with 5 food options. So this is basically the main menu of the simulation. And I like that there are many options, and the control buttons are up here and the navigational buttons are down here. This allows high learner control, and it's very reflective of Mayer's segmentation principle. So for our evaluation today, I'm going to choose pickles.
Pickles? We don't have any cucumbers. Can you find out who might have some? Which person is more likely to have cucumbers? Daniel Mumford is the village librarian. He learned to hunt and fish when he moved to Kaya and enjoys eating moose and salmon. Trini Mumford is 7 and used to live in Texas. She grows lots of vegetables in her garden and has won a gardening prize at the Alaska State Fair. Who do you think has
So now we're presented with a real-life scenario, which is one of the essential elements of an e-learning simulation, according to Sengupta's article. Here, the kids are required to make an informed decision. This task also helps them to work on their critical thinking skills. They have to read, analyze, and infer. So this task reinforces reading and listening comprehension skills. So this video also provides effective and appropriate feedback. If I choose the wrong answer, for example, watch what happens.
I don't think that's right. Let's read the biographies again and think about who is likely to have cucumbers. Who do you think has cucumbers?
So there you go. The feedback I think is very effective. It's an auditory task feedback that focuses on the correctness of the response.
Nasi Cho! Now we have everything we need to turn cucumbers into pickles.
Immersive graphics and sound are also important elements of an e-learning simulation, according to Sengupta. Using videos and animated storylines along with sound and music that suits the mood of the scenario are the way to go. And this simulation definitely does that. The animated storyline is very impressive. The script is well written and the slides are well organized. Overall, I think the storyboard for this simulation is very coherent and logical and well designed. Another important element of an e-learning simulation is to feature relatable characters. And this game definitely does that. I think the characters in this game are very relatable and authentic. Molly, the main character, the way she talks, her tone, her accent, her enthusiasm can keep kids tuned in and engaged. According to Sengupta, to design an effective e-learning simulation, designers must create stories and characters based on audience research. Well, Molly of Denali, I think, is definitely well researched. You know, the fact that the characters teach us how to preserve food the way they do it in their native Alaskan culture reflects authenticity. And also the integration of some native Gwich'in language into the script and narration adds a nice, authentic feel to it. I like it when Molly code switches, you know, or mixes the words from her native Gwich'in language and English. For example, earlier we just heard her say masicho, which means thank you in the Gwich'in language. So that's really nice, I think, and a nice added touch to this game. The fourth essential element of an e-learning simulation is to feature real-life tools and behaviors. According to Sengupta, the e-learning program should involve the same tools in the real world. Well, in this simulation, the kitchen tools and the ingredients that the kids have to use are all representative of what they're going to use in the real world. So, for example, we have here the main ingredient, which are cucumbers to make pickles, and then we have an actual tool here, a brush, and I'm going to use it to clean the cucumbers.
Lindsay! Good! Slice the cucumber into thin circles with our traditional knife called an ulu.
It's good to have a grown-up's help when you're using a knife.
And now we have another tool here called an ulu, and it's actually, you know, a nice touch that they're using a traditional knife instead of a regular kitchen knife. It adds an authentic cultural touch to the simulation. And now I'm going to chop up the cucumbers.
Make a brine, a salty water, to help with preservation and flavor. First, add the water. Then, add the vinegar. Next, add the salt. Last, add the sugar to the pot. A cote A! All done! Stir the brine while it Add the dill. Then pour in the brine so it covers all the cucumber slices. Yeah! Put on the lid and spin the lid to close it. A cote
Finally, according to Sengupta, e-learning simulations should include assessments and evaluations. Unfortunately, this particular simulation does not have a quiz at the end or any sort of assessment. I was a little bit disappointed about that at first, but then I thought about it. You know, this is not for job training. You know, this is not for adults. This is just an educational game or simulation for kids. And so I think the inclusion of a quiz is unnecessary. You know, I mean, kids just want to learn and have fun. So there's no need to have an assessment, I think.